It's like I've been looking at you for 5 years.
It's been longer than that, homeboy, but yes.
Yes, the
Through
fifth.
this little box on your desk there.
It showed up on my Facebook feed. The fifth that this is our 5th year anniversary and
Man,
number five. And you know what?
time
Two
flies when
things
you're this good looking, ain't it?
I'm gonna tell you the two things. Number one, I had a fuller head of hair. I mean, it was
And
thicker.
I had a
It,
fuller face
you had a fuller face, like.
and fuller shirts and pair of
No,
pants.
but I see you I've seen you like every week for 5 years. Me and you do this,
Yeah.
and I did it. Like I know we say 310 pounds. I didn't realize that. But anyway, Travis, like if you host the Big C Bigger T podcast,
Yeah.
Hawg Slop with the Big C Bigger T, what do you do for the 5th year anniversary?
Well, we got to get a guest in,
We
probably,
got to get a guest,
maybe.
a big guest, a big guest.
Yeah.
But not just any guest. You've
No.
got to go. You know, we could have called in all kinds. Trust me. I have Judge Reinhold on speed dial right here in this phone. Travis has, but you know what? You go get you a defensive line coach, Travis. That's what I say you
That's
do.
what you do.
Get you someone that knows the trenches.
Yeah.
And we've got just the guest, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Bringing in current Arkansas Tech defensive line coach, Arkansas Tech Hall of Fame football player, Mr. Kurt Corbin, guy I graduated college with. Well, graduated in loose terms, but
Yeah.
no, I did graduate.
They
But
let you out. They let you out.
but we have a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
Um, and we were going to interview him anyway, but it just happened to be our 5th anniversary. So we're like, hey, won't we just bill it as such?
That's right.
When life hands you lemons, make lemonade and
And
delicious.
for a 5 year anniversary, we could ask folks to send us gifts and we'll take them.
I'd love
We
all the
could
gifts.
ask you to give us monetary gifts. I can
I'll
give you
give you
my
my cash
cash
app,
app. Yeah, that's right.
PayPal,
That's right. Venmo, whatever.
Venmo, Bitcoin. I don't
That's
know.
right. Yeah, I'll take Bitcoin, sure. But at least what they could do, Clint. What could they do for us?
Well, you know what? Give me a 5th year anniversary like.
Like it?
Give me Gabe Saracel. I'm talking to you. You better give me a like.
That's right.
And
And
you know what?
then
Then what you need to do, Gabe? I'm talking to Gabe Saracel right here. I'm sorry, but I've got to talk to you, Gabe. That's blurry. Okay, so I took my glasses off, put them right back on. And then Gabe, share this on your Facebook page.
yep.
Share it and then subscribe. You've already subscribed, but you get it. Be
Yeah.
like Gabe. Like, share,
That's
subscribe.
right. Be like Gabe.
Don't be like Gabe, but be like Gabe.
That's right. All right, folks. So get ready for our conversation with Kirk Corbin, coach at defensive line coach at Arkansas Tech. And listen to some music, and we'll be right back at you.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change is here. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change is here. Changes me, my Lord, changes me. Can you hear me now? Church, can you hear me now? Ever seen a broken heart?
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T, joined as always by my best friend, Clint Clark. How you doing, Big C?
Man, I am fantastic. I'm fantastic. And today I saw on Facebook that it was our 5-year anniversary. And I'm like, what big guest could I get for the big 5-year
You
anniversary?
gotta shoot for the stars, baby.
Got to
Shoot for the
shoot for the
stars.
stars. Me and Travis, We went high and low on our Rolodex. We both have Rolodexes. Um,
Yeah.
it's like a contact list for you kids.
That's
We went
right.
high and low, and of all those people that could have said yes, one of them was Kurt Corbin.
That's
Um,
right.
Arkansas Tech Hall of Famer, along with yours truly. Um, Now, Kurt did a little bit more work than I did on that team. I was like on Kurt's coattails, I'm looking forward to getting to know Coach Corbin because I know football player Corbin, and I'm going to tell you, Kurt Corbin is the best on-field trash talker I've ever heard. I don't know if that's translated to coaching. But I remember we were playing the spring game, and I don't remember which one, but Kurt was on one team and I was on the other. And Kurt's team was obviously way ahead. And I just vividly remember Kurt going, "Somebody call 911. We're killing them." It was bad. So Kurt, how are you, my man?
I'm doing great, Clint. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
You and
So,
Travis.
It's good to
yeah.
have you, Coach. Now you're the defensive line coach
Yeah.
at Arkansas Tech. Now you have other duties on top of that,
Oh
right?
yeah. I've kind of I used to coach the punt team, and of course last year was the first year with Coach Thompson that came over from OBU, and then he brought some of his staff. But we've since lost our special teams coordinator, so he's trying to slowly ease me back over to the punt, and I really wasn't really excited about that, coaching punt. I've done that in the past. It's just one of those units where you sometimes you don't sleep well, right? Especially when the
That's
team's
right.
bringing a lot of pressure at you and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's about other than you do a lot of things as a coach. You help out on special teams. I do the field goal block. And then, of course, the off the field stuff, just making sure your kids uh, try to set them up and do well in classes and things like that, stay on top of their academics. Then I got a little side deal where I run a golf tournament. We always have that in May. This year it's May 1st over at Chamberlain Country Club. It's kind of a fundraiser, and I do that as well. And on top of recruiting and stuff like that, other job tasks, whatever the head coach says,
That's
really.
right.
So.
Well, just it sounds like really easy. Like, what do you have to do throughout the
Yeah.
day? What
That's
keeps you
right.
busy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember we were coming up for the homecoming weekend, and we were trying to. We went to your office, and we were going to break in, and then the other coaches were just going to let us in. Especially when I told them I was like, I'm gonna take a dump on Corbin's desk, and they were like, let you in." Uh, no, Kurt, what do you remember about me as a football player back in the day? Like,
What do
you're
I
real
remember about? Hey,
unfiltered. I mean, because we didn't go. I was always inside, and you were on the outside, so we never
yeah,
really went against each other.
yeah.
But
I'd had to been stunting in the B gap or something like that. I
yeah, and
got
I wasn't going to
I
stop you. I mean, who are we kidding?
yeah. I don't know. You were always a great teammate and showed up every day. I think we had a lot of people like that though. That like to play football and practice and play and love one another. So just being a good dude, a teammate on and off the field, and that's really what I remember most about you.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. Most people remember that I told really bad jokes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can say
That's
that.
there we go.
Yeah.
There's that. So Kurt, obviously had success as a player. I mean, culminated in the Gulf South Conference Championship. That was your senior year too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, that. So man, what made you choose coaching for a living? Did you
I
just
always kind of knew I was gonna coach at some point. I had an uncle, Art Kaufman. He actually coached here kind of after we were done playing, maybe missed him by 2 years or something. But he was mostly on the Division I level with Ole Miss, and I don't know. He's been in North Carolina. His last job was at Cal, and he's since kind of retired from it. So. Uh, I guess you had somebody maybe in your family you looked up to and loved the sport, and then I always kind of knew that I was kind of going that direction. And I wanted to do it on the college level.
Yeah.
Well, what attracted you to the college level? Because we asked Coach Mullins the same thing. We had him on the podcast, and he said the maturity of the athlete, and then he had to put up with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I guess that really is a draw. And I mean, it's not that I don't like working with young kids, but especially like sometimes, we have youth camps, right? And it's just hard
Mhm.
enough to keep them in a line,
Yeah.
so maybe you can't talk to a fifth or sixth grader at the same pace, right? And as maybe you do a college player, and maybe some of the stuff that they do, right, really doesn't even in your head, their movements and stuff not going to mirror that. But usually
Mhm.
it's still fun. I'm not saying I don't like coaching like seventh, sixth graders and stuff like that, but it's a little bit different. And
right.
uh, you know, I always pick the older group. Me and DJ, I guess this would be 3 years. We started a River Valley Pride RVP camp. You might have saw that on the internet.
Yeah.
We go back to Danville and do it there. But I always pick the oldest kids in the youth group, like the fifth and sixth graders, and he takes you know the kindergartners. So yeah, my patience kind of wears thin a little bit sometimes.
Like,
So,
yeah, doing the kindergarten's got to be like herding cats.
yeah, oh, that's
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of water breaks.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
Well, and I'm sure too, it's you're just the college kid comes in with already a lot of training behind them. You're doing a little more refining than you are, you know, you're kind of refining that lump of clay or whatever you're trying to form or whatever,
yeah,
instead of trying to, just get it started, I guess you could say.
yeah,
I'm sure that's a great advantage.
yeah. Just athletically is really more or less what I'm talking about. We still, I guess our schemes are a little bit more complex, right? We go from 3 down to 4 down in the same personnel groupings and stuff like that. I think in high school, people got base fronts and base coverages. It seems like they run like country cover three a lot, right? So
Mm,
you're teaching kids how to play combo coverage, one coverage to the field, one coverage to the boundary, and different things off formations. So it still takes a or the high school freshmen that we get in here a while to adapt to it, even if they've come from, like I say, an Allen High School, you know.
mm,
I guess just the time that goes in with the film study and the practice time and things like that are maybe a little bit different.
yeah.
Uh, I know, like, hey, I don't even know what y'all may know, but I think usually until you get up to 5, 6, 7A football in the state of Arkansas, I bet teams don't even really film their practices, right? Or they don't have enough coaches, right? They're having to go
Yeah.
from
Right.
offensive coaches to defensive coaches and split
Yeah.
their practice. So it's not just, hey, you play five technique and you play guard or center,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of uh, crossover where they got to play two different positions, and you're probably trying to keep things simple.
No,
I'm down here in
I didn't even
South
think about
Arkansas.
that. Yeah,
I'm
go
down
ahead,
here in
Trey.
South Arkansas, and the school that closest to my town is Bearden,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've gone to some of their practices, and they'll have the junior high and senior high on the same field with three coaches
Yeah.
in an afternoon. That's during season full pads practice,
Yeah.
and I don't see how they're able to do it. To be honest with you, so yeah, and it's
I tell
hard to
you
get
what,
individual help, even if with a small team.
DJ, we were mentioning earlier, he still coaches at Danville, and I think maybe he's got two full-time assistants in him. And then, one of the assistants is full-time, is the head baseball coach as well. So,
Yeah.
especially like usually when you come from smaller programs, though, you'll have the most growth, is what I've seen.
Mm,
Just for, like, say, for me, for instance, I probably didn't know a three technique, a zero technique, one technique, five technique, right? We were just like line up in these gaps, hit a see ball, hit ball.
yeah.
So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but usually, like, hey, in the smaller schools, they're playing multiple sports. Like, I played all the sports.
Yeah.
So I didn't just focus in the weight room. So you're going to make bigger strides in the weight room than, say, somebody that went to Bryant and all they do is play football, right? And
Yeah.
they have off season, right? And they're just doing that. But
Yeah.
I do like small town kids, right, that's played a lot of sports, I think it transitions well, relates to a lot of things.
And a
Is
lot of
that
them have
kind of
played both ways too,
Oh yeah, that's right.
no? Is that where you think your bread and butter recruiting is at the D2 level? Is finding them small school kids that may be undersized, that I remember Clint Reed
Hmm.
um, played with us, played center, and where's he coaching at now, Kurt? Do you know?
He was at Mayflower.
Okay, what was
He may be ready to make a move. Funny thing, Clint worked here at
yeah.
Tech for a while, and I got a text one day, and he said, "Hey, give me the human resources number. I need to verify my employment." So I think he was maybe, maybe got hired somewhere else and trying to, they're trying to backtrack to verify his employment. And I was just like, I did it off a Google search. I wanted to just text him, "Hey, you could have Googled it." I don't know. Like, I don't know the HR director's number off the top of my head.
Yeah,
You know,
but I remember
I didn't mess with. I didn't have time to mess with him.
he went home one summer skinny and
Yeah,
came back fat. He's
yeah,
like,
yeah. He was skinny early on. He sure was.
yeah,
Remember that day he twisted his knee up?
yeah.
Yeah, that was nasty. He dislocated his knee out there in one-on-one pass rush, and
Mm.
yeah, we all looked around and yelled "trainer." It was nasty.
Help,
Yeah.
help,
Yeah,
help. Yeah.
yeah, that
So
was
now
that.
at Tech, you coach the whole D line, or do y'all split it up inside guys and
Yeah,
outside guys?
I've always coached the whole D line. Our our defensive coordinator, he brought in his brother, which is he's a little old. He's about my age, matter of fact, but he's still working on an undergraduate degree. So he's basically like a restricted earnings type coach for us. So this year we put more on him, and he's going to take the defensive tackles. I'll kind of oversee everything a little bit, but we're in two different position meeting rooms, and it's really allowing us to, uh, really kind of, you don't have to, when you're coaching four guys, you got to slow down and teach everybody in the film sessions. So our film sessions are going probably a little bit faster. And
Mhm.
then we put a boundary defensive end. He's the guy that we drop off the ball uh, in our three down packages. So he's got to know some coverages and kind of he could line up to the field, the boundary. So I'm coaching that guy. So you got to have a little linebacker slash five technique in you.
Kind of a hybrid sort of
Yeah,
position.
yeah. So I'm basically coaching the defensive ends and just kind of overseeing everything.
And that's kind of the trend, isn't it, for a lot of schools to go to that kind of have a guy like that to where you can be versatile as far as a 3-man and 4-man front. We saw Arkansas did some of that, last year. And
Hmm.
I think Silverfield plans on doing that also
Yeah,
with some of his guys.
yeah. So yeah, that it does it. You can jump in and out of fronts and maybe try to keep the offensive line guessing a little bit and just kind of just changing up your looks a little bit.
Does that change how that guy? Is that's a different kind of recruit, right? I mean, because
Yeah,
you're needing a guy that's going to have a little more fast twitch, a little more,
yeah. He's a little
athletic.
bit lighter than our say our field end. Uh, we call like our field end. He does a lot of like deuce technique where you get a base block and then you rip inside and you're really taking the beak out. Uh,
Mm.
but that rush, yeah, he's going to be more of your edge presence, smaller guy, right? Guy that you can put back there at linebacker and scrape. Or we really don't ask him to do just a whole lot in the coverage besides like curl to flat. Maybe man to man on a back every once in a while if it's to his side. But you know, if you get too detached or too speed, what we call him to the boundary, like we don't ever play no man to man, with him on that guy. Nor would we with a will linebacker either. You don't want to be playing too much man versus a slot receiver, inside receiver with those type guys. They're more rushers and linebacker type guys.
First I remember seeing a lot of that was, when we were coming up with like Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
They did a little bit with him, and even Lawrence Taylor, because they were considered linebackers, but they had
Yeah.
their fingers in the ground a lot,
He sure was. Yeah,
But
he kind of revolutionized the game,
oh, for
I've kind
sure.
of listened to stuff on him. It used to everybody, I'm sure Clinton, I remember that was big in our day, Clinton, where it was like slide protection and the running back handled the five technique off the edge.
Right. Yeah.
And so they had to change that with Lawrence Taylor. They had to say, well, no, we're going to give the tackle to put him on Lawrence and let the back block the B gap blitzer, or
Yeah.
A to B C gap blitzer.
Yeah.
So slide protection was out versus Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
No,
Because if you don't block him, you end up like
Yeah.
Joe Theismann.
That's right.
no, man. No, I was just, you talk about how like the game changes and how like maybe the smaller school kids aren't prepared for the college game when they first get there. I remember like I didn't know how to pass block when I got to college.
hmm
And you remember Hollingsworth's offense was just, I mean, it was run and shoot. I mean, we aired the ball out. And at Greenbrier High School, we ran the dead tee,
Yeah.
and our pass play was a draw.
It was a
Yeah.
wraparound draw.
A
was our pass
wraparound
play.
draw. That was our
There
pass
you go.
play.
Well, no, really, we did have
We had a tight end dump.
a tight end dump and a wheel route to the back to halfback.
I don't even remember the wheel route. I remember the tight end dump
Yeah.
and 94 draw. And that was
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
you probably had like a
third and long was
36,
94 draw.
37 rollaway pass or something.
yeah. I mean,
That was
just,
the
you,
wheel route. Yeah.
you
yeah.
just turned to the side and ran them up the field. You didn't do anything. It wasn't,
Yeah.
Much
In
less,
fact, we had to learn to pass block to put in 94 draw.
yeah.
I remember when he put that in, we were 11th grade. We were like, Coach, how do we pass block? He said, well, you just stand up and put your hands out and keep them away from you. That was it.
Divide them upfield, right?
That's
Draw
right,
and
yeah.
run underneath them.
Yeah, it was rough. So I understand the what. So where was your first college coaching gig at, Kurt? After you left Tech?
I went to be a graduate assistant there at Northwestern State,
At,
and then I went from there. Not to get too far ahead, to UAM, and I was there for 2 years, and then I actually came back here. That was when Racono was the head coach at UAM. He hired me down there, gave me my first full-time job. Then when he came back here to be his offensive coordinator, I guess he felt bad leaving me down there or something. And so I came
well, I
back
mean,
here
Monticello
and coached
had
wide
to be
receivers
awful.
for a year. Yeah, and then I went back to Northwestern as a full-time. So that was kind of it.
So what were you coaching at UAM?
I was coaching defensive line and I did some linebackers, but I was there 2 years, and then so Racono left to come back up here, right? And so I was out without a job, and they had a receiver's job open. So I coached 1 year on the coaching the wideouts.
Was that at Monticello?
No, up here at Tech.
Oh, up here
he
at
came
Tech.
back to Tech, and so I came back to Tech just for that season. I wasn't even here in the spring or nothing.
So what was that experience like, coaching wide receivers? Were you Googling it?
Man, yeah, I tried. Yeah, about what I did. I got with some coaches, and hey, tell me to put my inside foot up, and luckily, the playbook was kind of easy. Like like you had a lot of mirrored routes, right? Once you learn the formations, like Pam was a post in a middle,
Right.
Jam would have been a J in a middle, right? Jan would have been a J and a numbers route, which is an out. So even a dumb guy like me could figure it out a little bit. The offenses weren't as complex, say as a pro game or anything like that. Now it seems like everybody's in the RPO and receivers don't have to block. They just run routes to expand everybody.
Yeah.
They're always running slant bubble on run plays, and the quarterback's got an option to, pull it out of the running back's belly and throw it out there. But
yeah,
I don't know. I spend a lot of time. I used to take the ball away from them, and we'd just work on blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you had one season at UAM as
two.
I mean at Arkansas Tech as the wide receivers coach.
Yeah. Then I went back to Northwestern State, and I was D line, and then about halfway through this, or about third or fourth game, one of our coaches kind of got in trouble with the NCAA. It ended up getting worked out, but I actually took over the coordinating spot, then was coordinator there a couple years. Then that led me to Chattanooga, and that was a kind of an awful experience. But uh, we got let go after a year. Then I went to Stephen F. Austin, and then we
Okay.
won some championships. That was a pretty good little run.
We'll
Usually,
say it.
anywhere you stay over 3 years is pretty good in college. That's kind of what I got tired of moving around all the time and everything like that. So,
Well,
like our kids weren't even in kindergarten yet, so
Yeah.
wife was staying home with the kids, and you're just kind of working off one income, and then she got hooked up with a better job, where now I can't really afford to move unless her job's open. Yeah, yeah. She makes
well,
all the money, and I do this for her hobby.
There
well,
you go.
I can tell you that Tech's lucky to have you because
Yeah,
one of the things when the old guys come back into town, we all want to go see Kurt.
yeah.
I mean, even if I'm ever just in Russellville, I'm down in South Texas now. So I drive through. You had a weird experience, and I'll circle back to that. But because I drive through Natchitoches every time. But now it's Nacogdoches. It's spelled the
That's
exact same way.
Natchitoches is
Natchitoches is
northwestern.
Natchitoches and
Louisiana.
Nacogdoches spelled the same, but it's pronounced different in both
No,
states.
it's not spelled the same.
Yeah.
Well,
It's Natchitches is Natchitoches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kurt,
and
Kurt, I can't
Nacogdoches, and
spell.
I can tell you the story that was they SFA and Northwestern play for the largest rivalry trophy in college football, which is Chief Cato. And so Chief Cato is a big wooden Indian. It was taken off they made it out of a tree and carved it. So it's
Yeah.
like a 7'4" uh, wood statue of Chief Cato. But Chief Cato's boys were Nacogdoches and Natchitoches, and he separated them, and those towns got named after him. They
Oh,
both
I
found
didn't know
water,
that.
the Cane River, and then whatever runs over through Nacogdoches. But both those schools play for that Chief Cato. It's a huge Indian trophy. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
You
pretty
may be
cool
the only
deal.
person I've ever met that lived in both.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I preferred. Of course, we had a young coaching staff, and a lot of those guys done well. But Northwestern was one of the funner coaches staffs I've ever been on, and the town's got a little bit more charm. It's got that Cane
Yeah,
River that
it's a
runs through
beautiful
it.
little
And
town. Yeah.
yeah, everybody's on the water in the summer, and it's kind of like, hey, it's the high school team. Everybody will come up to the field house, and you know they're rooting on the team. It's a small community, tight knit community.
Well, let me ask you this. This is an important question. We've asked
Okay.
just all these fluff things. This is
Yeah.
important. Which of the two had the better food?
Oh,
The
definitely
Cajun
Natchez.
food or the barbecue? And
Uh, oh yeah, I
yes,
prefer Louisiana food.
I was gonna say that
Yeah, yeah,
I've had some of the food in Natchitoches. It's solid
yeah.
for
It is.
northern Louisiana too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's got
they're,
a
they're
little
known for their
Cajun
meat
flavor
pies
too.
right there.
Yeah,
That
that's
Liaisons, meat pies or whatnot. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean it was crawfish bowls and shrimp bowls, and everything was about getting together and drinking a couple of cold beers and boiling stuff up in the pot, and
Yeah.
that was what it was about over there.
Yeah. See, we asked the hard hitting stuff, the
Yeah,
There
things,
you go.
the
There you
yeah.
go.
I didn't hesitate on that though.
That's right. That was the
He
answer I
didn't.
was
My man didn't
expecting.
have to think about it.
That's
Didn't
right.
have to think.
You know
So,
what's
so,
important.
so, Kurt, back in 1990, was it 96? You got to Tech. What
Yeah.
brought
Okay.
you
So
there?
my story. I got there in '95. So you were a year later than me,
Right.
probably, right?
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
What
came.
happened with me is I came in and played as a freshman, and then I didn't know how to say no a whole lot. Screwed my grades up and
Yeah.
became ineligible, right? And so I had to redshirt my second year.
Okay.
That was when Hollingsworth was here, right? Then
Right.
Mullins came in, I think '97. So really, I did it reverse. I got my red shirt my second year, but I
Second
still tell
year.
the players about that all the time. It's like, my dad didn't go to college, my brother didn't. So when I came home with those bad grades, I can still remember saying, "The only one that can do it's you," and so that really stuck to me.
Right.
So
Yeah. No,
I
I got.
had to get right in the classroom to, really that's all it got me to this point because at that young age, you're like, man, I just want good grades where I can stay apart, keep balling.
Yeah, that 100%.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, if I hadn't played football, I wouldn't have got a college degree.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have happened because yeah, I had to do like this. That's what required of me to stay eligible.
That's right.
Well, and so that's what I did. And I mean, I remember Blaylock making a joke about getting the probationary letter. I said, "Hey, I got the letter that said, hey, why don't you set this next semester out, champ?" Well, won't you go back home for a semester, evaluate your life choices, and then come back and see us? And so I missed that. I missed the first year of Coach Mullins. Um,
You
Now,
did.
as a player, like I came back in the fall, but in the spring, but I
Yeah.
missed his fall camp. So as a player, what was that like? Because I heard
Yeah. That was yeah, that's right, because it was kind of a weird deal. He took the job, if I remember right, like in the summer,
in the
right? And
summer,
instead of usually you come in and you got an off season with your
yeah,
team, right? And he came in the summer. I would say, hey, the old what do they say, Stone Cold was on. He was ready.
he
Then
wasn't playing.
no, he wasn't playing. He was tough on his coaches too. I remember, we started over and a bunch of times, start the whole practice over, and because he had some holdover coaches, so uh, I don't know. It was pretty rough. I mean, and that led into the off season as well. You felt like, hey, he tried to run everybody off, but I think the ones that stayed, obviously benefited from it and formed together. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that did get run off, and the
Yeah.
ones that really wanted to play stayed.
Well, I remember I'll never forget 50 bleacher morning, the first one we ran.
Yeah.
I think Mike Alexander was a GA.
Uh-huh.
I think you and Mario and a couple other friends had went out the night before and
Yeah.
were feeling less than stellar
Yeah.
that morning.
Yeah.
I,
I don't know. Hey, especially in them young years, it seemed like I could burn the candle at both ends and be all right. But I don't know. As I got into my junior and senior year, we'd kind of cut a little bit of that back. But
yeah, yeah, but I do remember Alexander, like we got to 25 and Mullins had told him, he goes, tell me when you get to 25.
yeah.
And so Mike's telling y'all like one more, one more. And I'm probably like I'm like thinking like I'm not going to quit, but I'm thinking about jumping off the bleachers. That way I don't have to do this anymore. But I'm like at least if I'm hurt, then I don't have to do this anymore. Like I failed, coach. I don't have to tell you. But he's like one more, and then so y'all finish that one, and then Coach Mullins like ready, ready, and blows the whistle, and we had to run up and down the bleachers 50 times, Travis.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah,
but
it,
I
it was
mean that.
rough. Hey, when Ship was here, he brought that back. We don't do it anymore. But hell, you know what made me so nervous as a coach was watching the 300-pounders come down the bleachers.
Yeah.
Golly, I mean, when you get up there, hey, them old legs are getting dead, and them rails on our bleachers, man, they're not very high. You worry about them just leaning over there and just going over the top, and
Yeah.
Well, we had to do that some in high school, and I always got nervous doing it in cleats.
yeah. Oh, y'all ran them in cleats. Yeah, we at least
Yeah.
let them have tennis shoes. Yeah,
We had to do it in cleats sometimes, and not
yeah.
very. I mean, most of the time we did it in the off season more than anything. But there
You
was
can't miss a
times coach
bleacher
would,
either. I mean, that's the thing is you got a little stride length in between and a dip, and if you miss one, you're gonna be
oh yeah,
hurting. Yeah,
Well, and that next year we kind of looked forward to it because I didn't say look forward to it, but we knew it was coming. We were mentally prepared for it.
yeah,
yeah.
But that first year, I remember going to class and being like, I can't sit down.
yeah.
And the most surprising thing about that was that I went to class.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
coach, you've been doing kind of on a similar level most of your career as far as college football, and so you're probably you can answer this question very easily with the as we talk mostly Razorback stuff on our podcast
yeah.
and D1 stuff a lot of times, but and the conversation comes up, NIL and transfer portal stuff gets brought up a lot. Tell us about how that's affecting in like Arkansas Tech's level, and how those changes how you've seen it change maybe your job and even the athletes and stuff like that,
Mhm.
in the last few years.
Sure. I think, I guess, it's a benefit for us is we can get a guy that out of high school that we couldn't get before the transfer portal. What I mean is everybody's taking more experienced players at the top,
Mm-hmm.
moving from going from a ULM or a Lafayette to Arkansas. This
Mm-hmm.
year, I guess Arkansas signed a kid on NIL from Washita Baptist, the second team offensive or all conference player tackle, and they got him. So usually,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, when you get to all conference level, you can get your team can get rated, and that's terrible. I know this year we lost uh, our back. We had the freshman back. He was a true freshman, rushed for over 1,000 yards. We hadn't had a guy do that since Brian Allen, so it's been a while. But he was actually back here in January, and then got a call from ULM down in Monroe Division One, and went on to them. And then we lost a safety to Northwestern State and our linebacker to UCA. But the biggest thing is, like, I guess with the high school kids, like a guy that was going to UCA out of high school, maybe a FCS player.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're able to get him as a freshman, but you don't know how long you'll be able to keep him. It's like we're in the developmental league. Right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody could feel that. Arkansas State could feel that way to a Power Five team.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It just you're trying to hold on to the players you got. But we really don't have just a huge swell of guys at the end of each season. That are going into the portal, maybe 4 to 5. But it's not like a mass deal.
Yeah. It's kind of mainly the top players, is what
That's
you got to
right.
worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
Kurt,
do you have to do
Everybody
some?
may start Bolton, the Clint Clarks of the world, first team all conference. That way, and you hide your good players.
well,
Don't
trust
don't
me,
dare
it would
don't
have hit
dare put
them
them on the
very well.
team, or you'll get poached.
I was joking because Sam Pittman was at a press conference. He's like, "Look, we got a plan to what we're going to do here, what we're going to do here, all the way down
Yeah,
like to our fifth left tackle." And I was thinking, I was number 3 center on the depth chart
yeah,
for most of my career. Occasionally I got up to number 2. I'm like, I wonder how far down I really was, because I'm like, okay, they were like if Clint Reed would have got hurt,
yeah.
like
Would they have stuck a guard over there to
would
snap the
they
ball?
have moved Gabe over? Would they have taken Gabe? Would they have
Yeah,
asked Nelly at left tackle, can you snap? I guarantee you, I would have not been option 3. There is, there is, because I remember that Delta State game that we played in '94. That was just, I mean, the defense played its guts out, and George had tore every ligament in his knee,
in
and Shane.
'99.
Oh yeah, '99. I said
Yeah.
'94, '99.
Yeah,
Yeah, '99. So Georgia tore his knee up, and I think Danny had got hurt, and Lance was playing, and I think it was one of them just games. It was just it seemed like a snake bit game, and Shane was in the game at quarterback, and Coach Mullins calls me over. He's like, Clint Clark. I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, because I was over there because I'm pretty far down the depth chart. I was baby because Danny had got a concussion that game, and I was babysitting Danny.
yeah,
He was loopy. He called me over, and he just was wanting me to get some snaps with Shane to calm him down. I'm like, what's taking bad snaps from me going to do for him? I'm like, and so
yeah,
yeah, Clint
yeah.
just came and shoved me out of the way. I'm like, all right, I'll go back to babysitting Danny. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, he didn't have the best throwing day there.
No,
Yeah, he didn't. And the hindsight, I guess they didn't. The story on that was they didn't know how bad he was hurt, or they probably would have put in Josh because
yeah,
uh, his knee was tore up when they found out they were, when we got back home and they went with Josh the next week.
yeah. Now, if you found yourself in that situation the next year, Kurt, how hard of a
Uh-huh.
situation would that be for you? because that Racono and we talked to Racono about this. We had George that he brought in from San Jose State,
Yeah.
D1 transfer, and then all Josh Price does is what no Arkansas quarterback had ever done before, was lead his team to the Gulf South Conference championship.
Uh-huh.
How would you have handled that situation?
Did
It's a good.
George come back after that year?
Yeah, George came back and sat behind Josh,
Okay.
and he ended up
Yeah.
playing baseball. I think his last couple years.
I guess you just got to play the guy that is winning for you. I think that's what I mean. It worked. That's how Brady and all them do it. So, right,
Yeah,
that's how Brady become Tom Brady when Breeze got hurt. But
But
I can remember
yeah.
George being really really good. From
oh
what
yeah,
I
George was
remember.
George
But
was
I didn't
phenomenal.
remember. I didn't know that he came back. That following year. I guess I didn't. Of course, I was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So Kurt, what's it like being able to come back home? Was it like coming back? Did you come back under Monica
Yeah, back in 13. Yeah.
back in 20? So 2013, you've been back for 13 years now.
Yep.
What was it like to be able to come back home to Arkansas Tech?
Oh, it was good. I think the thing you miss about, of course, then my girls were getting into kindergarten and all that. Now they into college and all that. So but when we lived out of state, you take stuff for granted. Yeah, you didn't have no babysitters or anything like that. And of course, Ashley, my wife, her parents live in got a set of parents in Clarksville, and then some they were in Hot Springs, and my parents still over in Danville. So you had babysitters, and hey, if you need to borrow a trailer or something or a
Yeah.
wrench or something like that, I could go get it. When you was out of state, you always had to pay somebody to babysit, or you had to rent a tool.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, my
nice.
my folks are still over in Danville, and they run the car washes. They got one in Russellville, Danville, Dardanelle, and now Paris. So my brother and my dad do that.
Yeah.
Well, tell us how did Tech do this last year? Y'all had a pretty
What we
good
in
year,
seven
didn't
and
you?
four, right? We went to a bowl game, uh, and we lost. We knew that going into the game because it was we were playing West Texas A&M at Corsicana High School down in Texas, and we knew we were going to have replay. So we get the ball down there and score, and we decided to go for it on two, or for the 2 point conversion and win it. And we actually had a guy that was, filled with the sideline stuff, whatever,
Mhm.
highlight videos, and he actually had the recording for us after the game. But the kid caught the ball. When he caught it, he like rolled over, and it had possession, and then DB slapped it out of his hand, but they did a good job. They sold it on the sideline. They ran off the sideline, celebrated. The refs looked at each other and said incomplete. And so there was no review, or we felt like we'd have
Oh,
won the game. But that was kind of a bittersweet
that
deal.
stinks.
I was actually watching that on YouTube when that
Yeah,
happened. I switched over and it was
yeah,
because y'all drove down last second.
yeah.
It was a good
Score
drive.
and tie it up, and or
Yeah.
yeah, and try to go for
100% it was the right call to go for
yeah.
two.
Oh yeah,
100%. I'm not taking that to overtime. We're winning or
yeah.
losing it right here.
Yeah, I tell you what, they were that was it's what we did as SFA when I was there. We were that Hal Mummy air raid. You remember like how we Valdosta
Yeah.
up and down, snapping the ball as fast as they could. They were running that type of offense. We was about wore out on defense, so we was all about hey, just try to get this thing over with, and it
Yeah.
definitely was the right call. It just didn't go our way.
Well, how's the team looking for next year?
It's just a work in progress as always. Like I said, we missed we'll miss those three players I told you about went to the portal. They were impact players for us
Mhm.
last year. So just trying to, and we lost two good defensive ends off last year's. We brought in some guys. But I think we're further ahead right now defensively. That's what I tell Coach Thompson. It's like, hey, they were together at 10 years down there at Washita Baptist, and hey, it's like teaching a seventh. The high school teams that are really good are the ones that teach the same plays from seventh grade to 12th grade, right? They run the
Yeah.
same offense, same defense. And so I said, we got any choice to improve. We'll call the same calls and guys will understand it. Harding, the way they roll, you
Yeah.
can't coach at Harding unless you're from Harding, right? And
Yeah.
they've been running that same offense, that same
That's
defense.
right.
So uh,
And
they'll
they
be
get
good.
and they get those players from that Harding Academy High School. They
Yeah,
get a
they
few,
get them from
several from
all
there,
over.
and they run the same offense
Yeah.
Now,
too. So,
I come back, for homecomings, and
Hmm.
obviously we got honored this year,
Yeah.
got put in the Hall of Fame, which was really cool. But it seems like every 5 years we're back there because the 25th anniversary, the 20th, so on and
Yeah.
so forth. But it really seems like there's a different energy around this Arkansas Tech football team now. It seems like like Coach Thompson's brought just some new energy.
Yeah, and especially I think everybody got excited when we hadn't beaten Washita Baptist in a long time. That was a huge win, second or third game, right? And we hadn't beat Henderson. Those are uh, usually them Southern Arkansas, Harding, right? Have been at the top of the conference for so long. To pick off some of them, those guys were big. So that obviously probably excited people and things like that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it just, I mean, because, you see Thompson out, you see him, engaging with the alumni and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
that's something we hadn't seen before.
uh-huh.
At least I hadn't. So
Yeah, yeah. He's a great guy. He's really down to earth, blue collar guy. So I've enjoyed working for him.
yeah,
Good.
good.
Well, and it's a neat deal, and it says a lot about you probably that they've kept he kept you on because a lot of times when coaches come in,
Oh yeah, I think they only do it
you
because
know that too well, don't
yeah,
you?
they want me to run the golf tournament. It's about
That's
money. We don't have the money that the
well,
private
I did
schools have.
see.
You'll take all the job security you
Yeah,
can
that's
get,
it.
though.
They only have to pay me about half of because I raised the rest of my money, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. That's what I tease about all the
Yeah.
time. But
Well, I
uh,
did see on your
or
next to your
we knew
bio.
each other, me and Coach Thompson before. Didn't really, have a personal relationship or nothing, but I was definitely glad he asked me to stay on.
Yeah. Well, I noticed on your bio it did say next to your name fundraising or something
Yeah, there you
also.
go.
So
Yeah, they turned that whole thing over to me. Yeah,
it's
it's like,
that
hey,
that's
yeah.
that, but it's kind of like a lot of things. That title that kind of maybe ups your paycheck maybe a little bit, right? Something, or just
Hey,
makes it
they
look
didn't up
like you do
mine.
more.
It goes. It helps us buy a chin strap or so.
That's
Uh,
right.
some money for some gas money for a bus.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, that's great. So, how did recruiting go this year for y'all?
I thought it went pretty well. We lost two, and everything's so. Everybody asks me about, hey, this guy, that guy. Like we have an area, in-state and out-of-state area, but really, when it comes back to it, you'll just take over turn in whoever those coaches gave you. And then from there on, I wouldn't know, hey, what's going on with that wide receiver unless I'm really paying attention in a recruiting meeting. But really, it's position recruiting.
Okay,
So,
so
like, I'll take D linemen, they could be from anywhere, and I'll just worry about recruiting those guys. I really don't, hey, what's going on in the offensive with the quarterback or the
yeah,
offensive line or running back. Like, I don't really, I'll hear the names, but I really don't know. Hey, are they coming in this week? Right? Have
yeah,
we offered them this amount. You really just kind of stay on your position. So with my position, we lost two guys late. That thought could have helped us this year as freshmen. Uh, lost them to Pitt State. Though in my double A.
mm,
Beat us out there at the last moment. And then, but we got one good defensive end he's actually from Midland. I was asked, Odessa. He was
mm.
actually in that, he told me he was in the Landman. You remember when they went to the spring game?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
oh
And the
yeah,
daughter was there. And yeah, yeah. So
okay, yeah, yeah,
he said they brought in like, uh 2,000 extras in that stadium. Remember how it was all full? But he
yeah,
said
yeah,
usually like full even for a spring game out there. But
yeah.
they filmed it and all that, and he said he's actually running across the field, so he got a little screen time.
Oh, that's cool.
But we got two big defensive tackles, one from Bentonville West and one from Bentonville that I think will come in here and be in the rotation as freshmen.
Good deal.
So there's some I do know one quarterback, Mitchell Polk from Smackover Buckaroos.
Oh, that's down here close
Yeah.
to where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked pretty good on tape to me. It's just, the thing I've always been kind of puzzled by is through the years of coaching, the offense. Oh, this is going to be the next great quarterback, this next quarterback, and it turns out being this other guy. It's like
Yeah,
well, they can't really, I guess, the intangibles and
Yeah.
things like that. We really still haven't gotten that position probably all the way figured out.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of interested, and y'all could probably fill me in, like who's the number one quarterback, who's the top quarterbacks in this year's draft?
In the draft,
The draft,
Yeah, projected.
Fernando Mendoza, the guy
Mendoza's
from
number
Indiana.
Okay,
one.
so he's going to be he's top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going to probably be the first pick by the Raiders.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I don't think there'll be another one going the first round. Crap, Taylor
Yeah.
Green may end up being the second quarterback taken at this point.
Yeah, I doubt he'll go. I doubt he'll be the second one, but he'll be up there. As far as the quarterbacks, they're starting to make some noise about a couple of small college guys that are showing up good in some of these pro days and things like that. But yeah, a lot of people think if Trinidad Chambliss ends up not back at Ole Miss, then he may end up being. But
That's
doesn't
what I was
open
wondering.
there.
Like, hey, to me, that guy was playing as good a quarterback as you could play.
Yeah,
There towards the end of the season, he's kind of more like Mahomes and those type guys to me. And I was like, what? I couldn't figure out why, if he even tried to put himself in there, because it seemed like he was just trying to go back to Ole Miss. And
I'm totally with you, Coach, because I don't get it, because this is the perfect year, because next year is going to be a lot of quarterbacks coming out.
See, imagine if my draft year there had been like literally no other centers.
Yeah.
Like none, not a single one. Like I would have been the only one.
That's right.
I would have been the first center.
We need
taken
somebody
off the
that can
board.
snap. Yeah.
And,
That's right.
And it wouldn't even. I still would have went undrafted.
Well, and that's the thing. This year's quarterback class is weak. Look, Taylor Green is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
But his game film's not that great, as far as making decisions and things like that and turnovers and stuff. But he's being talked about as being, maybe a surprise, get. And so you think Chambliss would. Man, he would go out this year, because next year you got the Moore kid from Oregon, you got the Manning kid from Texas, you got 3 or 4 others that are solid quarterbacks that are going to come out next year that are probably going to be first rounders. This year they're at the most they'll be 2, and that's just there's that many teams that have needs.
Yeah. How about the kid from LSU, Emsminger?
Nussmeier.
Yeah, Nussmeier.
Yeah, I think, he struggled toward the end of the year. He's not as, going into the year, I thought a lot of people thought he was going to be a Heisman front runner.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good Senior Bowl, is what they said.
Yeah.
So
I think there's some concerns about him with arm stuff or things like that, and so he's probably like a third rounder.
But it's like you said, Kurt. I mean, they overanalyze all this crap and they get it wrong.
Yeah. That's right.
I
enjoyed that run by Mendoza in that last run. That was
Yeah.
when they slow-moed it and all that. It was fun. I saw where I think they played Miami the year before, if I'm not mistaken, and the same guy hit him.
Yep.
And knocked him to the ground, and the same guy hit him in that game, and he spun off. It was
That's right.
Yeah, in kind of like the same area of the field.
He got his revenge. Yeah, that's kind of the cool part of the story. So
that was
yeah.
I just didn't know. Before the season, he probably wasn't even a top 10.
No.
Right? I don't know. And so.
Well, and what Signetti's done at Indiana has just been, of course, amazing. A lot of it he's got. He's doing it with 23, 24-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. Kurt, if I ever win the lottery, Arkansas Tech is gonna have the best NIL budget.
Yeah,
we need it. Hey, Harding's got that going on in football.
Do they?
At our level. So it's not
Wow.
to the extent of there, but hey,
Yeah.
hey, $15 would have done us right, Clinton, huh?
Yeah, I would
I
have just
$15
free Taco John's. I
was
would
gonna
have.
yeah,
say,
free
y'all.
Taco John's or a Whataburger or something.
That's right.
Now, Kurt, now did you have a welcome to college football moment when you got to Tech?
I
Uh,
think my freshman year, yeah, we were playing that good North Alabama team, and I think Willie McKinney. Remember that
McGinnis
he's a Hall of Famer NFL. Played
for
for
the Patriots. William
he
McGinnis.
played for the Cardinals.
Oh,
Of course,
yeah,
they had 4 guys off that team that got drafted.
what position he play?
He's a linebacker. I was playing tight
Okay.
end my freshman year, and we were blocking power, right, against 4-3. So the tight end releases inside the C gap to the backside backer, right? You deuce down, and he came across. He saw the guard pull. Next thing I know, hey, all I felt was my back of my helmet on the ground. It's like, hey, this is happening at a different speed. So that was probably it.
Yeah.
That and well, then Todd Aiken was that kind of took me under his wing, and he scared me pretty good at running around. It was kind of like, hey, you had to go hang around with me. Uh, my freshman year, and he off the it was more like, hey, off the field experiences was welcome to his world. You remember him, don't you, Clint?
oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
No,
looks like
my
Stone
first.
Cold still today. Like bug-eyed and
Yeah,
really, really, really intense person.
he was. I remember like that was like my one of my welcome to college football moments was
Yeah.
TA's drinking water, and he goes, and he walks up to me, and goes, "I thank God every day I'm not this fat," and pinched my love handle.
Yeah.
Which, and I remember I told Shane
Yeah.
Gunter, I told him about it. He was their starting right tackle. He goes, "That sounds like TA."
Yeah.
He goes, "That's
Yeah.
like no one was like, yeah, that,
Yeah. He would have been a better cage fighter, I think.
yeah." Yeah, no, he's another one that he started. He posted a picture. He went to a jiu-jitsu class, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I would not roll that guy. I'm like, because he's strong enough and knows enough and dangerous enough to just hurt you, not knowing what he's doing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
I think he's a federal marshal now or something.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He was a paramedic for years, so that was right up his alley, like blood and guts all the time. Yeah.
So I take it you definitely preferred playing defensive end to tight end.
Yeah, I went in there and just like I remember them telling me like, hey, just I wanted to play defense, and uh so I was at linebacker. Then I started eating those cheeseburgers too, and then they moved me on to down to DN, and then that was the best move for me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
because it was you and Eastburn were the bookends on the championship team,
yeah,
correct?
no, it was
Or not you
Eastburn
and
played
BJ.
inside me and Crane. Yeah,
Yeah, you and Crane, and then
yeah.
Charlie and Chris. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and Travis Chris Eastburn's also a fascinating case. Because I think when he graduated with us, he was 57 years old, right,
Yeah.
Kurt? But he was on like that legendary Lake Hamilton team that won all those
Hmm.
championships.
You
That
know,
like
he was all state, all Arkansas, whatever you name it, safety. And
safety.
then he started eating cheeseburgers. And then he was 280.
Yeah,
So
he was a defensive tackle, and
yeah, he played safety in high school. He really did and was really good.
Wow.
and pretty much just made me look foolish in practice every day.
Yeah.
Because he was quick like a safety,
Yeah.
but the size of a defensive tackle,
Yeah.
and it
And a
was
disgusting human being.
a disgusting stories we will not be telling on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to hit the beep button a bunch of times for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause, yeah,
yeah.
he
You
is an
know,
interesting.
I still keep up with Chris, and he comes plays in the golf tournament, and we hang out. You know what he does for a living now, Clint?
He's a pediatric nurse, isn't he?
Yeah, well, and he flies in that what do they call it, Arkansas
Oh,
One, and he
Angel
picks
One,
up the
yeah.
kids. Yeah, on
Oh
the
wow.
uh, and Blaylock's got a nickname for him, Airwolf, because you remember Airwolf?
I remember Airwolf. Yeah.
Yeah, he got the helmet and the whole deal, had the copter. But yeah,
Now
he
he's
flies.
not still
He flies.
280, is he?
He said he was about to. I think if you get to 310, they start saying, you might not can do your job anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
I was
like
gonna say because
yeah. But he goes up and down. He goes up and down. He might have had the lap band and broke it a couple times and go get it tighter. You know, I don't know. I
That's
can't figure all those guys
fantastic.
out. Yeah,
the laughing
That's
to
a lap
break
band broke.
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's
So
funny
I
stuff.
will tell you that the Arkansas Tech 2025 Hall of Fame induction was sponsored by Ozempic. I
Yeah.
think everybody. I think I think I think I think I talked to at least 10 people that were like, "Yeah, I'm on the fat person shot."
Yeah.
Uh, so
Yeah. They some company come by here last year was trying to sell Coach Thompson some. It was some kind of fudge sickle or something, but had so much protein in it, and they'd put a cooler of it in there and restock it and all that. And I was saying, hey, some of us need Ozempic sickles for the fat guys. We don't need to be eating the
That's
protein.
right.
Like, hey, you
That's
got any
right.
Ozempic simple, sickles? That's what I need. So,
well,
That's
yeah,
funny.
well, Kurt, thank you so much for jumping on with us,
Yeah,
man.
man.
yeah, man.
Hour flies by, my man, and man, you're always very kind to me, and I always enjoy coming hanging out with you. You're kind of like the lighthouse at Arkansas Tech, man.
Yeah,
It's all guys.
I appreciate you.
Back
I
in
love you, man.
I love you too, and I did tell you what was funny story is as I was went to underneath the stadiums during the game, and I was looking to buy a shirt, and I'm like, I ain't getting another stupid bulldog on it.
Yeah,
And she goes, and the lady behind the counter is like, Jerry the Bulldog's being getting a lot of hate. I like, it was a bunch of men my age, isn't it? He goes, yes.
that's it. That's
They
it.
go, Jerry the Bulldog not popular with 99 championship team.
Well, now
Well,
is
come
that
up here and
the
see me. I'll get y'all a t-shirt or something.
All right, I appreciate it, my man.
dog that the is it the softball team has a dog that's a coach?
I'll tell you what really happened on this deal. If you want to
Hang
know
on.
the
You're
behind,
gonna have to
what
put
was Paul Harvey say the rest of the story.
oh, go ahead.
So
Get us the
so
inside scoop,
at one
Kurt.
point they had they were going to try to change the mascot. This was when Dr. Brown was here and after we were done playing. Because it really wasn't, like what the heck's a Wonder Boy? You can't market it. You didn't know what to.
Yeah.
Right. When me and Clint
Right.
played, sometimes there'd be a guy with a trash can and a cape on going through the bleachers, So
Yeah.
nobody knew what the Wonder Boy was.
We paid top dollar to
So
that guy.
yeah. So they brought up like, three or four things like the Titans or the Ducks or yada yada yada. Then old guys got mad because they were like, nah, heck no, we ain't changing that deal. And so after there was so much uproar and protest against it, Dr. Brown decided, hey, he found a story about a dog that used to stay in the Stroop long time ago, Jerry the Bulldog, and now he's campus ambassador. But we got Wonder Boy as our mascot. So I kind of explain it like Auburn is the Auburn Tigers, but they got the War Eagle.
Yeah, yeah,
So you're like, hey, that's the best way I can do it. I'm like,
yeah.
well, we got the Wonder Boy, but we got the dog.
Yeah,
So
we all hate the dog. I
Well,
feel
no, but
yeah.
you.
there was a deal going on online about like the softball team has like a hound dog
Oh,
that on the website is listed as a coach. I think it was one
yeah.
of the girls like emotional support animal or something like that, but
Yeah.
they've like made it like a official team member or
Well,
something like.
baseball and softball teams always do something kind of weird. So I remember
Yeah,
one
sure,
year there was a team that had a
yeah.
goldfish, and the goldfish went everywhere, or they got
Yeah.
they got some kind of superstition deal in their locker room that kind of sticks with them. That it might be that I have no idea what's
Yeah, you
going
need
on
to get an
with the
emotional support
softball team.
armadillo or something to,
Yeah,
for the
Yeah,
defensive line.
that's right. Yeah,
Maybe an emotional support possum.
a possum.
Yeah, just
that's right. Yeah. Well, Coach, I'm gonna hit stop the recording in just a minute. Stay on. We'll say our goodbyes then, but do want to thank you once again and for doing this, folks. like, share, subscribe, all the things, and share all that. And Coach, have a great year at Arkansas Tech. And
You guys too. Thanks for having me on.
Get lots of sacks.
All right.
Quarterback pressures. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drive so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Sun beating down so hard, I can barely breathe. Hard to sing a joyful song, the words got me on my knees. Then the gentle breeze blows by, pick me up right on time. Listen, now I know the Lord is near, working right by my side. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I swear now I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. All right. Another day down, the work is done. I wonder what it's all worth.